I don't understand it. Of course, it's not designed to make sense. It's designed to be a mandate from the government. They don't care. But it's discrimination no matter how you slice it. Judicial Watch is in trial in Annapolis, Maryland, and we were in a court hearing at the same time, practically speaking, in California. We had a major court hearing on our lawsuit that we had against California's outrageous CRT-based, critical theory-based, racial ethnicity LGBT quotas for corporate boards out there. California, which is run by extremists of the left, has decided that anti-discrimination laws in California that prohibit discrimination under its constitution don't matter anymore. And they're just going to discriminate on the basis of all those categories to advance their radical agenda. And we filed a lawsuit on behalf of taxpayers who challenged illegal expenditures for that type of illegal discriminatory mandate. And we separately had a lawsuit that we just finished a trial on. We don't have a decision from the judge there yet, challenging a quota mandate based on sex. And that trial lasted several weeks. So here our trial is set for what happened was they passed this law mandating sex quotas on corporate boards in California. And then they followed it up with a law mandating these additional quotas based on race, ethnicity, and LGBT status. So it's just quota after quota after quota, all prohibited quite plainly by the California Constitution. And so what happened is, so we're going to go to trial. The trial's been set, I believe, for May. And both sides want summary judgment. And what does summary judgment mean? I'll warn you, I'm not a lawyer, so take this for what it's worth. It means one side wants the other side to lose summarily. We don't need to go to trial. And in the case of Judicial Watch and our clients, we say we proved our case, the other side should lose their case. We don't need a trial. And that's what the other side's saying about our case. So we had the hearing about that summary judgment fight on earlier this week, as I said, in California. And it looks like the court is very much concerned about what we're concerned about. So to be clear, what we had argued is that the expenditure of taxpayer funds or taxpayer finance resources on this law is illegal under the California Constitution. A Senate floor analysis, the Senate in the California legislature, they even acknowledged this. They produced material during deliberations on the legislation that concluded the bill draws distinctions based on race and ethnicity and therefore, quote, is suspect, and that the existence of general societal discrimination will not ordinarily satisfy courts. Frankly, there isn't even evidence of general societal discrimination. Also, according to another committee, they said the bill will result in ongoing costs in the hundreds of thousands of dollars to gather demographic information and compile a report on this data on its internet website. So what the state has come in, they tried to kind of short circuit our case by saying, oh, we're not spending any money on this, so there's no taxpayer issue. Well, they are. They're compiling reports for potential future enforcement, which they're pretending not to be interested in to try to subvert this litigation. And I don't think the court's going to buy it. And of course, in opposing the state's efforts to summarily dismiss us, we highlight how the defendant's justifications plainly embody stereotypes that treat individuals as the product of their race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or transgender status, evaluating their thoughts and efforts. Their very worth as citizens according to criterion barred by the government, to the government by history and the Constitution. In the end, this law is simply a numerical set-aside that amounts to racial, ethnic, and LGBT balancing. Racial balancing, we cite a case, is not transformed from patently unconstitutional to a compelling state interest simply by relabeling it racial diversity. So this is a CRT, but it's critical theory agenda in a nutshell. treat everyone according to race and other immutable characteristics, or sometimes changeable characteristics, because some of this is self-identified. I mean, I don't even know how it works if you self-identify based on, but certainly on transgender status. Isn't that self-identification? Does that count to being a male or female or what? I don't understand it. Of course, it's not designed to make sense. It's designed to be a mandate from the government. They don't care. But it's discrimination no matter how you slice it. California would require corporate board quotas based on race, ethnicity, and LGBT status. The law is the most significant attack in the modern era on constitutional prohibitions against discrimination. You know, and it's pretty simple. Our taxpayer clients seek to protect the rule of law and ensure that taxpayer resources are not illegally used to advance blatant and pernicious race and other discrimination. So you really have this war on anti-discrimination laws, war on the Constitution by the left. I mean, they pretend to be against racism, but they want to actually enshrine it in law and treat you not as a citizen, but as a member of a particular demographic that changes. I mean, as the court, I read the court transcript, maybe we can post it online later. You know, the court was saying, you know, someone from Spain might be protected, but not someone from Portugal, or vice versa. I mean, he highlighted the absurdity of this. So I don't know how the court's going to rule in terms of summary judgment or, you know, basically knocking the case out one way or another, hopefully on our behalf or in support of our case, or whether he's going to want to go to trial. But isn't this outrageous? And this is the sort of thing the Justice Department ought to be doing if they believe in civil rights, but it doesn't believe in civil rights. It's this critical theory, repackaged Marxism that would have the state counting who, what people are doing what based on race and other categories in a way that is anti-human. Because it treats people as categories of race and sex and other categories as opposed to people as individuals, all of whom deserve equal respect under the law. So I'm proud that we're doing this work. It's important work. No one else is doing it but your Judicial Watch, of course, with your support. So I'll let you know when we hear back from the court or if we go to trial.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.